Welcome in the class of Basic Civil Engineering. Today we are going to see surveying and uh, the introduction to the leveling. So I am Mr. S.S. Ogule, Assistant Professor, Civil Engineering Department. So what is leveling? The art of determining relative heights of different points on or below the surface of the earth is called as a leveling. It deals with a measurement in a vertical plane. So basically, it is the art of measuring the height of any particular point. So by using different methods, we are going to find these, and different instrument we are going to find the levels. So for execution of engineering project, it is very necessary to determine the elevation of different points along the alignment of the proposed project. So what are the uses or purpose of the leveling? So to prepare contour map for fixing sites for reservoirs, dams, etc. and to fix alignment of the railway, roads, irrigation canals, etc. Then to determine the altitude of different important points on a hill or to reduce level of different points on or below the surface of the earth, and to prepare a longitudinal and cross section of a project like road, railways, irrigation canals, etc. in order to determine the volume of earthwork. Means we have to in any construction of any road, uh, we should uh, design a flat or the plain surface on which the vehicle will move. So to prepare this surface, how much volume of the earth we have to remove and how much volume of the earth we have to fill, that can be calculated by using this longitudinal and cross section of a projects. So these cross section has been prepared with the help of this leveling. Next is to prepare a layout map for a water supply, sanitary or drainage scheme. uh, every city has its water supply scheme, then sanitary and drainage scheme. In India, most of the cities don't have still drainage schemes, but most of the cities have the water supply scheme. So in water supply scheme, first part is the taking water from the source of the water, that is either river or the lake, etc. And for that, how much pumping or what capacity of pump has been required, that has to be calculated, and that depend on the level of the particular ground, and on what level we need to lift the water. And second thing, to decide the height of the reservoir or water tank. So we have to provide a water tank on such height from where the entire water supply will be smoothly conducted with the help of gravity itself. So for that we require this particular levels of particular cities. Then terms used in leveling. The level surface. The surface which is parallel to mean spheroidal surface of the earth is known as the level surface. So this is the level surface. And level line. Any line lying on the level surface is called as a level line. So this is the vertical line, this is the horizontal line, and this is the level line, which is again spheroidal, which is similar to our Earth's shape. Then datum surface or line. This is an imaginary level surface or level line from which the vertical distances of a different points in the above or below the line are measured. So it is the imaginary level with reference to which all different points or lines has been measured. Then mean sea level. Mean sea level is obtained by making hourly observation of the tides at any place over a period of 19 years. Mean sea level adopted by the Survey of India is now Mumbai, which was the Karachi earlier, as I told you in last lecture. So the reduced level then. The vertical distances or height or depth of a point above or below the assumed datum is called as the reduced level. It may be positive or negative. So all the readings in our country are reference to this mean sea level, which is taken as the zero. Now here we can see this. These are the junction, and these are the benchmarks at particular cities. Mostly we are going to observe these benchmarks on the railway stations. So I have two railway station boards over here. So here you can see the Samudra Satah se Uchai, that is mean sea level 549.25 meter. So this Miraj junction has a height from the sea level, mean sea level, that is 549.25 meter. Same way, in case of Kolhapur, this is 536.72 meters. So these things you will find on the railway stations, where those RLs has been written for that particular area or for that particular junction. Now the line of collimation. It is an imaginary line passing through the intersection of the crosshair of the diaphragm and the optical center of the optical object glass, and its extension is also called as a line of sight or collimation. Basically, we will see. So this is the leveling instrument which, with the help of which we are going to find the levels. So it has this object glass and this eyeglass. So in this object glass, we have the crosshairs, like you might have sometimes seen, like we have in the snipers, that particular objective glass or citation side glass. So same way those crosshairs are there, and the optical center of that particular object glass and its extension, the line passing through this is called as a line of sight, which is the line of our eyesight. Then axis of telescope. This axis is an imaginary line passing through the optical center of the object glass and optical center of the eyepiece. So this is called as the axis of telescope. Now the benchmark. These are fixed reference points or marks of known elevation or RL, that is reduced level, determined with reference to the datum line. These are very important marks. They serve as a reference point for finding RLs of new points or for conducting leveling operation in projects involving roads, railways, etc. Here you can see we have this benchmarks over here, and from here we can start any sort of work in this particular locality. From here we have to take the first reading, and then we can start the working from, or we can transfer that benchmark from anywhere and start the work, and uh, the RL will be known to us. Then GTS benchmark, that is Great Technological Survey. These benchmarks are established by national agency like Survey of India department at a large intervals all over the country, like 100-kilometer interval. They are established with highest precision. Their position and elevation above mean sea level is given in a special catalog known as GTS maps. Then the permanent benchmark. These are fixed points or marks established by the government department like PWD, that is Public Works Department, Railway, Irrigation, etc. RL of these points are determined with the reference to GTS benchmark, that is at 10-kilometer interval, and are kept permanent points like plinth of the building, parapet of the bridge, or culverts, etc. So you can see these are the some kind of benchmark indicating this is below soil, and this is at the particular, uh, we have the side curves there, it has been. So these are the two examples, and here you can see this is the US coast benchmark is there. So, and by this way it has been written over here. Now the arbitrary benchmark. When the RL of some fixed points are assumed and they are termed as arbitrary benchmark. These adapted for the small survey operations. Suppose you are carrying out work for the small area and you don't have the any benchmark. So you have to assume some benchmark at some point, and with reference to that you have to calculate the levels of other points as you are taking the readings. So in this case your assumed benchmark will be the arbitrary benchmark. Then the temporary benchmark. When the benchmarks are established temporary at the end of the day's work, they are said to be temporary benchmark, and they are generally made on the root of the tree and the parapet of the nearby culverts, etc. So suppose you are leveling for a long distances, and you are about to end day's work. So where you are taking that last level, so there you have to write that RL, so in this fashion, so that tomorrow again you can carry work from that particularly temporary benchmark. So what are the types of leveling equipments? Basically, the leveling has been done with the help of these instruments, that is dumpy level, tilting level, automatic level, and nowadays digital auto level. Even we can use the total station also for the leveling. Even GPS also can help with the leveling also. And there are few other instruments like staff. With the help of staff, we have to take the readings. So dumpy level. So this is the simple instrument which is used for the leveling. We have the bubble tube over here. We have three leveling screws, and it is rotated in the horizontal circle or horizontal plane. So here we have the object glass, here we have the eyepiece. So likewise, we have to intersect the staffs and take the readings. This is the tilting lever. Here the addition is that here tilt screw has been provided so that we can make final time arrangement, so that we can put this bubble in the center even at the last minute. uh, in leveling, the precision is necessary, and with the help of this bubble tube, we can make sure that this particular level is in, or the this line of this telescope, line of axis of this telescope is in horizontal direction, so that we can say the leveling is going to be correct. Otherwise, if it is bent by some also, so again it will produce a more effect as we move the staff from this particular level. Likewise, I will show you here. Suppose we have this level over here. This is the level, and this is the eyesight of the particular level, and we are taking the reading from ground like this, and here we have kept the staff. So on the staff the marks are there, it is like our regular scale. So by that, it line of sight intersects over here. So this thing, or this height, we have to record. This particular height we have to record, and then with the help of some mathematics, we can find the level of this particular point. Suppose this instrument is not exactly horizontal or in horizontal plane, it is somewhat tilted by small amount. So here it looks like small, but it will produce the effect like this. So our reading can be wrong, or reading have error of this particular. This can be the error. So this is the error of this particular. So for that purpose, this level should be perfectly in horizontal plane. Now this is the tilting level. So with the help of this screw, we can make the last minute arrangements. Baki, uh, all other things are same. This is the auto level. For this particular level, there will not be any need of much uh, what we can say, much adjustments over here. Only we need to bring this circular bubble tube is there. This is somewhat like this is circle, and one center circle is there, and bubble is somewhere here. So we have to take this bubble at the center, so that this will be in horizontal plane, and remaining small adjustment will be done by this particular level itself. And this is the focusing screw, by which we can focus the particular uh, item on which, or the stuff from which we have to take the readings. So this is all about overview of the leveling. So today's references are again the slide share, then the book of Hiraskar, and the N.N. Basak of surveying and leveling book. So again, in the same lecture we are going to continue the contours also. So right now we have seen that leveling is required for the preparation of contours. In introduction of survey we have seen the contours. So what are the contouring? An imaginary line on ground surface joining the points of same elevation is known as contour. In other words, the contour is a line in which the ground surface is intersected by a level surface obtained by joining points of same elevation. This line on the map represents the contour and is called as a contour line. Now the contour map. A map showing contour lines is known as a contour map. A contour map gives an idea of the altitude of the surface features as well as their relative positions in the plan. Serves the purpose of both a plan and a section. The purpose of tracing contour lines on the surface of the earth is called as a contouring. So what is the purpose of contouring? Contour survey is carried out at the starting of the any engineering project such as road, railway, canal, dam, buildings, etc. For the preparing contour maps in order to select the most economical or suitable site. To locate the alignment of the canal so that we have to follow the ridge line. And to mark the alignment of the road and railways, so the quantity of earthwork in both cutting and filling should be minimum. Again, for getting information about the ground, whether it's flat, undulating or mountainous, the contour will help, or the contour map will help. To find the capacity of the reservoir and a volume of the earthwork, especially in mountainous region, it is so much helpful. And to trace out the given grade of a particular route, and again to locate the physical features of a ground such as a pond depression, hill, steep or small slope, etc. So these are the purposes of contouring. The contour interval. The constant vertical distance between two consecutive contours is called as a contour interval. Remember, the constant vertical distance between two consecutive contours is called as a contour interval. Now the characteristics of contour. So the first thing, all points in contour line have the same elevation. So if one contour line is there, that line has the points of the same elevation. The flat ground indicator indicated where the contours are widely separated, and steep slope where they run close together. Next, a uniform slope indicates when the contours lines are uniformly spaced, and a plane surface when they are straight, parallel and equally spaced. A series of close contour lines on the map represents a hill if higher values are inside. So here you can see the lower values, that is 60, 65 are outside and higher values are inside. So this is the contour map. So here it represents the hill. Then contour lines cross ridge or valley line at right angle if the higher values are inside, and the bend or loop of the contour, it indicates a ridge. So here you can see it indicates, this is the ridge line and it indicates the ridge. The contour lines cross ridge or valley line at right angles, and if higher values are outside the bend, they represent the valley. So this is the valley line. So this is the valley and this is the ridge. Next, a contour cannot end anywhere but close on themselves either within or outside the limit of the map. So here you can see these contour lines are close within. It is not ending somewhere, it is close within, or in this case these are ending at the end of the map or outside of the particular limit of the map. Now, the contour line cannot merge or cross one another on a map except in case of overhang cliff. So here you can see this is overhang cliff, and in this way the contours are ending. This is the, so in any other case the contour lines cannot merge or cross one another. Next, the contour lines never run into one another except in case of vertical cliff. In case of several contour coincide and the horizontal equivalent becomes 0. So this is the vertical cliff, and here you can see this contour lines running on one another. So this is all about today's lecture. We will see the contour uses of contour in next lecture, as well as the plane table surveying in next lecture. Thank you.